The president doesn't work for the people. He works for the World Bank, IMF, and the rest of, you know, multinational whatever.
Do you know, at some point we are the ones who say these things, assuming or just based on somebody's actions and some of these decisions that they make. We say, they are working for, you know, the oppressor, they are working. This time around,
he said
it himself.
Yeah.
How do you even defend a president like that?
He said it.
He said it.
Yes,
like,
I work for him. I work for him. And now we are seeing them in our parliament as the MPs debate. It's amazing.
The sad thing about this government is that when they were doing their campaigns, before they were, you know, sometimes people say we didn't even vote these people before they were imposed into the current positions that they are taking, is that they really packaged their campaign in such a way that the smallest vendor in the market thought that this is the kind of government that will always, you know, push for my hustle, support my hustle, be there for me even. You know, people have seen Ruto coming from where he comes from, like from the villages of what do you call this?
It is a narrative.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So they saw the narrative from this village boy to now no shoes to school. You know, they even told us. They even told us how this guy grew up, and you know, we had always been having Uhuru Kenyatta. He comes from, his father was the president. So people were like, this guy can't understand our hustle. So we need somebody, you know, who's coming from the background that all of us are in this country.
Ooh.
And people, like women created songs, who wake up very early and vote for Ruto. You know, Kikuyu women were singing, rallying behind this man and saying, this is the man that will lead us to Canaan. But now when you see everything just being twisted and turned like this is somebody you've never known before, it is very sad, because it's not only the world that is crying, it's not only Africa that is crying that we are losing Ruto to the West. Kenyans are crying like
actually, Kenyans cry out more.
Yeah.
You know, when you are, for example, in Malawi, or when you are in Burkina Faso, you say, oh, that guy is a puppet of the West. But the people who are killing it are the people whose the ancestors fought for independence. Millions of our people are killed by the West. And now this guy is selling us back to the West. And that's why you're seeing this people in parliament, because he's already sold us. And we need to liberate ourselves.
How many times have I made videos talking about the speeches that African leaders make, and how Africans love great speeches? This man proves my point. Great speech. And he's going to get props for it everywhere. And nobody is going to say, hey, why don't we look at our own leaders and see if they're doing what he is talking about, and let's get rid of them. Please go to Evans from Africa and see the whole video. The shameless. This thing is beyond what people think it is. I keep repeating this over and over in all my videos about Africa. And people refuse to look at the situation. We are coming to Africa thinking that it's like the story I heard from when I was in Barbados. I heard the streets of New York, the streets of America actually, are paved with gold. When I arrived in New York on that day in May and drove down Fulton, the parkway from JFK to Brooklyn, and I saw the condition of the streets, the houses, I asked my mom, can I go back to Barbados? I was a young kid then, but this looked nothing like what I saw and heard about America. It was like a shock to my system. And then during the next few years of experiences in America, oh man. Nevertheless, I'm hoping that many people will watch these videos and change and stand up, start fighting for Africa. Stop telling people about your pool. Tell them the truth about Africa. Stop telling people how the smiling faces of the Gambia, the smiling coast, as if it is fact, instead of just the advertising gimmick that you really don't comprehend at all. But there are people all over the world who love following, that kind of content. They want to live vicariously, thinking that where they are is worse than where they want to be, because some fool is telling them a story and they have no way of verifying it. What you're seeing here is the real Africa. The real Africa. And it's not just one village in Africa that's like this. There are places it's even worse than this. Try Nigeria, for instance. It's worse than what you see in Kenya. But don't come to Africa thinking that you're leaving hell to go to heaven. Please, I beg you. Wherever you are, peace. Have a great day.
Definitely. You are a man with knowledge, and I definitely enjoyed this conversation having with you from how we started talking to all the way. I can tell you are very passionate about your country.
You highly welcome. May God bless you. May God give you long life. And then the life I have in this Gambia, you have it. I'm 74 years old. I born in 1949, 6th July. My father is a general in the Gambia here. So I am not a foreigner. I'm a Gambian. And I will tell the truth. If I live in the Gambia with the truth. If I die in the Gambia with the truth. But Gambia, the way it's going is very bad. Yes.
Because I have heard that he was a Navy captain. So maybe he should explain a little bit more about that.
You want to interview me about the business side?
Give me a brief set. See, I'm keeping the big artist waiting because of you.
What the man said is true. I was in the Navy, before Navy, I was Philippos 5 years. Philippos 5 years. During the colonial days. 5 years I went to Europe, I came back. Coast Guard 10 years. Coast Guard 10 years, captain. I left there, then I came back. Yeah, Jame took me as a Navy captain for 5 years. And then I leave. Because Ndaujan made me to leave the Navy. He brought his small brothers for me to teach them how to drive the boat. When I showed them everything, they gave him rank and he didn't give me rank. That's the reason I left the Navy. But does it mean that I don't want to do this? So, yes.
So you would say that here a lot of favoritism runs the place.
My brother. Now, last question I'm going to tell you. Mandinka don't talk Wolof. Wolof don't talk Mandinka. Can that develop the country? How well?
So what should we do to have a meeting?
We have to forget about tribalism.
So I heard this conversation yesterday, right? I was at Juma on Friday, and the Imam said something like, if you go to Turkey, they speak Turkish. If you go to France, they speak French. If you go to the Emirates, they speak Arab. Why can't we have something that is our own international?
It's too late. They say to me, even somebody here, he said he want to make it. I tell him it's too late. You know why it's too late? You know why it's too late? Fine. Because from the colonialism, when Trump came here to colonize us, we're supposed to tell them that now, before you teach us your language, try to teach us our own language, that even if we leave, then we know how to develop our country in our own language.
That's actually, I agree. Would you say we had that power back in the day?
People were not intelligent to do all those things, especially our great-fathers, because they don't go to school. Even Jawara makes some of them alcalo. They don't know how to develop the country. They just make, street as the way they don't even plan to say, we make a place whereby if that's a country like this place, the people make football, then they make a place whereby they can came to understand we can talk our development of this country here. They don't know anything. They don't receive anything about development. They only know anybody come, you give color, they give you house. Color, they give you compound.
So would you say our own traditional ways and beliefs set us back?
How can you set that to us back? How can you set that one back? Even in London, you have a small street. Here, this man went inside to go and break people's house, whereby those people are not even here, they are in Europe. You break their house. Are you compensating them?
And my house is broken.
Ah!
Because I stay on the road and they broke a lot.
Yeah.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now he is a Gambian. He is not JD coming from the mouth of a Gambian, and not just any Gambian. He is a part of the upper class Gambian. Here it says his father was a general, and he a captain not only in the Gambian forces but overseas, which means England, Coast Guard. And he is telling you about Gambia, the problems in Gambia. Now when I say it, it's like you don't like Gambia. But from the mouth of the Gambian, who knows? Who was there when things are happening? Please. I'd like you to see the whole video for yourself. Elephant Madness TV. Retired Gambian Captain talks. Elephant Madness TV. Peace.